Hare
Jai.
Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Dandavad Pranam, Prabhu.
Well, the program went well, huh?
Yes, Prabhu. We are present.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Class
Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna, Dandavad Pranam, Prabhu.
Okay. So, how are you all doing?
Good, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, so let's begin. So, how much of you have understood Karana Srishti and Karya Srishti? Are you all well versed now with this? Or should we do a run through again?
To run through, it will add, Prabhu, it will help us further, but it will be nice.
Okay. Okay. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadadi Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jahatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktyakam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Srinvatam Swakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Hridayantastohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Sugrutsutam Vasudeva Kata Prashna Purusham Strin Punattite Bhaktaram Prachakam Strotam Tatpadashalilam Yata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. So let's continue to read from Srimad Bhagavatam. So in the last class, we completed. Okay, so we'll just do this sharing. I'll share my desktop. It's better. Okay, so now, so this is the explanation. So we talked about creation as two types. One is called Visarga, another is called Sarga. So Sarga is for first. So Sarga and Visarga. So Sarga means primary creation. Visarga means secondary creation. That's all. So what is primary creation? So I'll take a simple example of making khichdi at home. Okay. Now to make khichdi at home, you need two steps. First step is to get all the ingredients. And second step is to mix the ingredients and then make the khichdi. Correct? Without the presence of ingredients in a certain activated format, you cannot mix them to prepare khichdi. So for example, ingredients could be suji, could be tur dal, oil, mustard, ghee, etc., etc., etc. So those are not in raw format, they are in processed format. That means already all these ingredients are not only produced, but they are given certain color, shape, flavor, size, everything, and they kept ready for preparation. So that is called sarga. That is called primary creation. So secondary creation is what? Okay, put all these things, put water, keep some heat and temperature, stir it, khichdi is ready. That is secondary creation. Okay. In our kitchen, we see our cooks, Matajis, they do secondary creation. So we conclude that they are the creator of khichdi. But without the ingredients, they cannot make khichdi. So you cannot see the hands of the farmer behind those vegetables, hands of the farmer behind those things. We cannot see them. So we don't attribute credit to them. We attribute credit to the person who just mixes. So similarly, Narada Muni got into the same situation. He saw Brahmaji creating and he concluded Brahmaji as all in all. So Brahmaji clarified, no, I'm not all in all. Out of many, many, many infinite Jivatmas produced, I'm just one of them. That's what he makes it very clear. Then he says, description, how the Lord, who is the cause of all causes, does this creation. Okay? So is it clear what is Visarga, what is Sarga and Visarga? Is that clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Now, Sarga. Sarga is primary. Visarga is secondary. Brahmaji does secondary creation. Lord does primary creation. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is it recording going on, Prabhu?
I don't know, Pawan Prabhu does that job.
Yes, Prabhu. This meeting is being live streamed on there.
Okay. So is this clear now so far? Okay. So now we'll go to primary creation. So here we wrote in the notes that what is the purpose of creation? That is type of Sarga and Visarga. So primary creation consists of Karana Srishti and Karya Srishti. So what is Karana? Karana means cause, right? So the ingredients we talked about, right? The creation of ingredients, that is called Karana Srishti. So Karya Srishti is processing of those ingredients, putting that together, right? So that is Karya Srishti. So you can see there are two activities done in order for the creation to manifest. See, this creation is really gigantic. This creation is really big, right? And innumerable number of creation happens like this, right? Now, for example, you take a big tub and then put many particles or stones, rocks into it, and you keep shaking the tub. You will see all these rocks collide, okay? So that's exactly what the similar situation is. But in the creation of the Lord, you see how wonderful He's created. Nothing collide. Everything does the function pakka, as per as it. Okay. So now I want to show you this this document. Okay. So are you able to see this document? This image?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. See, this is the spiritual sky. There's an entire picture is called the spiritual sky. Okay. See, the spiritual sky, there is main lotus. You can see my cursor movement. Okay. There's a main lotus, and that is Golaka Vrindavan. Okay. Now, this is the primary aspect, primary or For example, if you take a circle, how did the circle form? The circle formed because of the center point. Hare Krishna, there's some noise coming in. Thank you. So the circle formed because of the center point. Without the center point, you cannot have a circle. Okay. Every detail about the circle is measured from the center point of the circle. Right? So similarly, this entire spiritual sky, this Goloka is the center point. Okay. Now you see many small universes, and these are called spiritual universes. Forget the black one here. All others are the expansions of Goloka in different moods, in different activities, in different forms. Okay. Now when we say Lord is Ananta, Lord is Achintya, we can't understand the potency of the Lord. See, for example, if I give you a very long number, a long number which is 30 digits, 40 digits long, and give two numbers and say, I'll multiply it, give me the answer. You'll say, Prabhu, it's beyond my brain's computation. I cannot, I need an instrument. I need a computer. I need a calculator to compute your sum. So that is called Achintya. That means beyond the comprehension of us. Okay. But of course, people in the spiritual world may understand this. Okay. So beyond our limit, that's called Achintya. Now, Ananta here refers to unlimitedness. You see, this Lord who's sitting in Golaka, he created unlimited Vaikuntha planets. And he expanded into each of these Vaikuntha planets in an unlimited manner. Okay, so why is this unlimited? Why is this unlimited actually coming to picture? Because the Lord's energies are unlimited. Lord's characteristics, qualities are unlimited. Lord's potencies are unlimited. Okay, since he is unlimited in many of these things, he creates unlimited varieties. That means if you go to Vaikuntha, this one, if you go to this Vaikuntha, there will be, characteristically, there will be a lot of differences. How, for example, I'm going to Bangalore, then I go to Chennai, both are cities, both people are living in both places, buildings are there, car is going, bus is going. But you see the city looks different. Lifestyle is different, food is different, culture is different. Exactly. That's exactly what happens between these two Vaikuntha planets. Because the Lord is unlimited, he creates unlimited Vaikuntha planets. Okay, so is this clear? Now you look at the size of Vaikuntha planets, so vast. Okay. Now, how much Vaikuntha planets he'll create? As the Lord comes out with more and more variety and variegatedness, he keeps creating them. That's the power of Lord. Okay. Now, you can see there's one place, this is the dark region. Okay. Now, why is this dark region? It's very simple. Now, we read that the planets are illuminated by the presence of the Lord. From Lord's body, the energy comes and it illuminates. We cannot illuminate our place. We need some energy. That energy comes from sort of electrical energy, then tube lights, then lights are put on the streets, on the roads, it illuminates. In the daytime, Lord gives the light. He gives through the sun globe, and sun produces the light and gives us. So our illumination is through an external object, but the Vaikuntha planet's illumination is through the effulgence of the body of the Lord. That's what you have to understand. Okay. So now what's our position? Okay. Now see here. Do you see this second picture here? In this picture, you see these are the Vaikuntha planets. This is Goloka and many Vaikuntha planets. You see, all are self-illuminated. Okay. Illumination refers to knowledge. Illumination refers to awareness of everything. Darkness refers to ignorance. Darkness refers to not knowing anything in that matter. That's what darkness refers to. So, in this unlimited portion of the spiritual world, eternity, there is a small portion of darkness here. You see? So, this Brahmajyoti which is present here, okay, forms what is called as dark clouds here in this one portion. In this, once it forms a dark portion. So, how dark portion? For example, today is a bright sunny day. Suddenly I get clouds. It covers the sun. And you see the sunlight cannot penetrate us. And you will see the day is gloomy, the day is dark, and things like that. The same manner. the clouds of Brahmajyoti form here and produces this dark region. This dark region is called as the material world. Okay. Now, why it is dark? Because material world is ignorant. What is it ignorant? It is ignorant about the fact of the position of that living entity or whoever is living there. About what is it? There is no direct connection or direct understanding of Lord Krishna. There is forgetfulness. There is independence. Independence, it is called as an illusionistic independence from the control of the Lord. So, all these things form the ignorant portion or the dark region. So, this is the material region that we are part of. So, now what are we doing? We're practicing certain aspect of devotion to get out of this material region, this dark region, and going to these bright Vaikuntha planets and serve the Lord. That is the whole goal of this Bhagavatam. Is this clear? Now, why Bhagavatam is giving all this detail? Bhagavatam is trying to tell us, see, this is a dark, ignorant region. There is no hope. There is no happiness. There is no eternity. And it's not a good place to live. So hence Bhagavatam is trying to teach us, get out of this dark region and come to this blissful region. That is the goal of Bhagavatam. Okay. Now, when we learn this material energy, material creation, right? When Vasudeva does these 5 things, when we learn these 5 things, all these things tell us the Achintya Shakti of the Lord. So, it tells so much of detailing. Why? Is because currently, because of our independent nature, we think we are the controller. We are very great. We think we are pure. We think we are the cause of all causes, but we are not. So, this material creation, that the questions that Parikshit Maharaj is asking, is to basically tell a fraction of energy is Lord, is so magnanimous, and it should humble us. It should humble our position. That is what the goal of understanding this material creation. Okay? And the material creation itself is so complex. Very detailed and very complex. Right? So we first described Vasudeva and the 5 elements. Okay? In that 5 elements, we said Dravyam, material elements, is directly from Vasudeva. Karma, directly Vasudeva. Kala is also Vasudeva. Jiva is part and parcel of Vasudeva, but he is independent thinker. And Swabhava is the characteristics of Jiva. So that's what we first understood. Okay. Then we came to understanding of this Abheda Vakya. So by which we understood what is our real position. Now, why this Vakya is important is, what is our real position? If you should understand. Okay. What is our real position in relationship to the Lord? And how this knowledge of Veda Shastra is helping us to make us understand. That's why we understood the difference between Shakti and Shaktiman. Then how we understood that simultaneously they are different, simultaneously they are one under various circumstances. Then we understood how the Acharyas taught us the evolution of this knowledge. From Advaita, Vashishta Dvaita, then Dvaita philosophy, then Achinta Veda philosophy. How these philosophies manifested and how today we are following Achinta Veda Tattva. Right? So by this we understand what? That our position is unique. We all have a unique identifier. And what is the proof? We understood that if you take a tree and if there are 1 crore leaves, every leaf is unique. It is proved in the science laboratory. Okay. If you take an atom, it is found that every atom in this creation is unique. Even the charge on the nucleus is not same as the charge of another nucleus. That is also unique. So you can understand that everything is unique in this world. So similarly, we are also unique. So what's the purpose of we being unique? That means our relationship with the Lord, our service to the Lord, our activities to the Lord is also unique. Unique means not replicated, only one. Okay, so that's what we understood out of this, right? Then we talked about what is this sacrificial process, what does it help us with, right? It is a one step below Bhakti Yoga. And then it is one more method for people who are in the lower platform of consciousness and thoughts to reach the lotus feet of Vasudeva. Right? Okay. Then we also talked about Karya Karna Kritartve. Right? So we talked about how this body, mind, and senses are working together. Right? And how we are differentiated from matter, which is the earth. Right? And then we also talked about, even though we are a spirit soul, we are higher in position because we are the internal energy of the Lord. How we get bound, caught by this material energy, which is inferior than us. Right? So here you see we understood what binds the transcendental and how the soul is associated with Maya. Right? So we also understood from this sloka. Then we also understood that Lord is the creator of the three material energies by which it puts us into illusion. Why? So if you go back to this picture, we were originally here in one of the planets, or maybe even here. But what we decided, I'm always serving the Lord. I don't have my independence. I'm also equally to the Lord. We got that feeling. And because of that, we got separated from the Lord and got into this material world. So now Lord is trying to, enlighten our consciousness, by which we can understand, no, this is not my real position. I have to go back here. So that's what we are trying to understand. Okay. So now, today, you can see this wordings. Everything belongs to Krishna. So by his favor, we get opulence. Okay, please understand. Even before we were born, this creation existed. That means whatever is present in this creation doesn't belong to us. It belongs to someone else. It existed. Okay. How we now, does it exist even before my father, my grandfather, my great-father? Yes. Before any living entity was created, this entire creation was done by someone. Okay. That's what it means. Everything belongs to Krishna. So by his favor, we get opulence. Right? So after I was born, Krishna gave me an opportunity to do something. And by that activity, I got some opulence. Opulence can be riches, name, fame, beauty, whatever it may be. But what does that opulence do to us is, once we get that, we forget the Lord. He is the cause of my opulence. We forget the Lord. And we continue to do activities that pleases our senses. And that's exactly what's happening in the material world. Why is that? Because once we forget the Lord, immediately Maya takes us over. If you remember the Lord, Maya stays away. That's the whole process of Bhakti Yoga. This is what Krishna is trying to teach in Bhakti Yoga. So, if we understand this much, then we will know what's our real position. So that's what we understood. Okay. So now let's go back to this page. Where is that page? Okay. So we came back to this page. Now in this page, what happened? Lord is giving us opportunity. Now how? Now, for example, we got into this material world. In material world also, we have to be somewhere, right? So Lord created a container. In the container, like a box. For example, you make sweets. You have to put them, store them, right? So you took a box and put all the sweets into the box and kept the container. So what Lord did, okay, what should I do with the container? Better I become a container, right? So Mahavishnu expanded into Garbhodaksha Vishnu, the Garbha, and in the uterus of the Lord, the Garbha of the Lord, it made as a container and put all of us into that place. Okay, we are living into that place. So now Lord is saying, okay, how long you live here? You better come out and show your devotion on me. You show your devotion on me, I will not put you into this container anymore, which is dark and very tight and difficult. I'll give you liberation. you go out and serve me in the Vaikuntha planets. That's what the Lord is saying. So hence you see the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu present, and all of us present in the womb of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So now this process of material, that means Karana Srishti and Karya Srishti, Sarga and Visarga, is a method to release us from this container. Once we are released from this container, we are given the opportunity now. So what opportunity I will get is decided by the Lord. How he decides? He decides based on our activities and consciousness. Okay, you got it? For example, I made 10 varieties of sweets and kara. And I called my children, 4 or 5 children. What do you want? One child said, I want this halwa. One child said, I want payasam. One child said, I want murku. One child said, I want something else. So you see, according to the desire of the child, I gave away that. Okay? The child wanted halwa, I gave halwa. I did not give laddu to the child who wanted halwa, but I gave the entire spread. So similarly, according to desire and karmic reactions, Lord gave us a life. Okay, that's why each one of us are different. Each one of our lives are different. Each one of our situations are different. But however, he gave one common thing. He gave himself in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. He gave himself in the form of holy name and told him, irrespective of your positions, duty or karma, one unifying factor is devotion. Practice devotion, come back to me. That's all he said. Right? So that's why you see, even though we are coming from different backgrounds and different activities, things like that, one unifying factor for us is devotion, and that practicing that devotion will help us. Okay? So is this clear? Why are we doing devotion? Okay. Now what Lord has to do? He has to impregnate. So we say, no, one lady is pregnant. Pregnant means what? She's carrying in her womb the child. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu in his Garbha is carrying the Jivatmas. So Lord is pregnant. Now he has to impregnate. What is impregnate? When we say lady impregnate, that means she gave delivery. That means the child was produced from the stomach of that lady. Similarly, the Jivatmas are produced from the stomach of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. That's all. So is this clear so far? So this is what the Lord is doing. So while the Lord is doing things, he is creating these many elements and interactions and opportunities and things, because that's how this beautiful material world is created. You can see how much of variegatedness. From Bangalore, you go 50 kilometers, you'll see varieties changing. Trees are different in nature. Fruits are different in nature. Language is different. People are different. Their styles, their cooking, their ingredients are different. Everything is different. You go 200 kilometers, you go 1,000 kilometers, see how much of variation. So much. Right? So that's exactly what's happening. So what the Lord did? Lord impregnating the material nature through glance. By glancing, he induces 3 things. So what is this glance? So glance we talked about, right? You know, tur dal on the plant is not directly consumable. But the tur dal is processed, it's consumable. That is called glancing. Okay. So when he glanced, 3 things happened. Okay. The kala, karma, and sabhava were induced. After this kala, karma, and sabhava is induced, it results in this material nature, which is also called pradhana. This pradhana is inactive. Inactive means what? It's not, no work is happening, no activity is going on. It just stands still, like a statue. And it's also unmixed. What is unmixed? For example, you talked about khichdi. In khichdi, there are thousands of ingredients. I mean, many ingredients. All ingredients are separated. But only if you get to them, they can become khichdi and stir them, right? So that's called unmixed state. So now many ingredients are formed, but they're unmixed state. They're not mixed. Okay. So by influence of kala time on pradhana, Lord produced Mahatattva. Pradhana with kala results in Mahatattva. So, in Mahatattva, he produced only two things. One is Mahatattva, that is in goodness and in passion. That is called Sutra Tattva. Now, when this goodness and passion mixed together, it produced Ahankara. That is Tamaguna. Now, why Tamaguna? Because if you go back to this picture, you see there's a dark region. Dark region means region of ignorance. So, this material world has to manifest as a basis of Tamaguna of everything. That's why you see Lord Shiva, who induces Tamaguna, is the superintendent of this material world. So people with the lower fund of knowledge can only see Lord Shiva, a prisoner in the jail will only see the daily superintendent who's coming to see him. He cannot see the bigger hands behind the superintendent, the government and all these things, or the prime minister behind that. So similarly, many people with lower fund of knowledge, they conclude Shiva as Ishvara, as Maheshwara. They say all those things. So they do not know details of it. Right? Okay. So, because this material nature is Tamaguna, so Tamaguna becomes a predominant situation, and from this the Trigunas manifest. We get Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and Dravya Shakti. From Dravya Shakti, what we understood, we get the elements. Okay, we get the 5 Tanmatras and 5 elements. So we talked about what are the 5 Tanmatras. The 5 Tanmatras are the sound, touch, forms, taste, and smell. These are the actions. And these are the elements: ether, air, fire, water, earth. So the elements and their actions are interconnected. Right? So that's what comes out of Dravya Shakti. From Kriya Shakti, what comes out? We talked about prana. Then we talked about 10 senses. Then we talked about intelligence. Right? So here, we talked about intelligence as a passion is because, why intelligence, even though intelligence is finer than the mind, why is intelligent mode of passion is because, see, intelligence is like a sword. Okay. If I use my intelligence on, let's say, some bad things, I'll manifest a lot of bad things in it. More and more bad things will come. For example, the scientist who wanted to discover this atom bomb used his intelligence on destructive elements. That's why more and more destructive elements came. Right? Now, for example, if I use an intelligence on good things, more and more good elements, good things can be brought in. So that's how intelligence is. So intelligence can be used on anything to manifest that stronger and greater. And hence intelligence becomes part of passion. Right? So what are the 10 senses that we talked about? So the 10 senses are 5 Jnanendriyas and the 5 Karmendriyas. Okay. What is prana? Prana is the binding factor between consciousness and the soul. Right? So for example, how? Atma refers to soul. Jiva Atma refers to life of the soul. A soul that has life. That's what called Jiva Atma. So the life as a factor is induced on the soul, and that is called prana. And that becomes a binding factor between consciousness and Jivatma. So for example, when the soul is present in this body, you will see, I am aware. All my senses are working. I'm aware of my environment. I can see. I can get subtle exchange with people. I develop love. I develop emotions. So that is called consciousness. So this consciousness is an attribute, or consciousness is a characteristics that tells that the soul is present. So for example, when we say smoke is coming from wood, that means what? There is fire present. That's why smoke is coming. Heat is present. So similarly, consciousness reveals the presence of soul. Right? So that's what we understood from Kriya Shakti. Then Jnana Shakti. From Jnana Shakti, we understood that Jnana Shakti comes from the mind and the 10 senses. Right? Here, the 10 senses are not the senses as such, the 10 sense devatas. Okay, so we talked about the 10 sense devatas. Who are the devatas? They are Soma, Kubera, Surya, Varuna, Ashwini, Agni, Indra, Rudra, Yama, Daksha. Who are these people? They are the one who are the cause for that senses to actually activate, to work, right? So, for example, just because I have eyes, just because there's an object, it does not mean I can see it. Eyes act to activate it. So, the Surya Devata is the one who causes the eyes to activate to see that object, take that light and process into our brain, and then see, oh, there's an apple that I'm seeing. Okay. So we are thinking by our energy or something that I am using my eyes and seeing. But how are you using your eyes and seeing? It is because presence of one Devata. So like that, there are so many actions that are going in our body. Everything is simulated by that Devata. Okay. So that's why these Devatas are very powerful. And not only to us, not only to me, to you, to him, to everyone, to all the living entities. Whenever it comes to activities of sight and vision, the Surya Devata is doing the job. That's what you have to understand. For example, Varuna Devata does taste. Whether I taste, or whether you taste, or an animal taste, all these taste, sensory, reception and transmission, all these things is done by Varuna Devata. So that's how these 3.3 crore Iha Devatas, they do their job functions. Without them, even though we may have the organs, you may have the sense objects, they cannot activate, they cannot function. Okay, so the best example I can give you is I have a camera and I have a peacock that I need to shoot the picture. Okay, camera is there, peacock is there. So what stops me from shooting the picture? But I need electrical energy. If there's no electrical energy, even though there's camera, even though I keep pressing the button, it cannot shoot. So that electrical energy is the cause for the camera to ability to shoot the picture of the peacock. And that is what the 10 sense devatas do. Okay, so is this clear? And they are manifested from the Jnana Shakti. Okay, so now can you understand Mahatattva in totality? No?
Yes.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So this is what the Lord creates. Okay, so now what has Lord created? Lord has created, we'll take the example of Khichdi. He has created sasve. He has created ghee. He has created urad dal. He has created suji. He has created water. And he's also created functional elements like fire, air, smell. All these things also need to be present, no? Just the ingredients present is not enough. All these things should be present. Everything should combine together. So now you see this is called as the unmixed state. Okay, is this clear now? Okay. So now what we will do, we will go to our subject matter reading. Where is it? Yeah. So,
One question, Prabhu.
yes, Mataji.
This Jnanendriya Iga Devatas is present in all life, all the human beings, animals, in plants, in everywhere, or
No, they are not present everywhere. They are a single personality. For example, Surya Deva is a single person. Okay. But he is very powerful. He can use his Shakti energy and he can control the vision for all the living entities in a particular universe. Okay. So how? So for example, you go work in a factory. Okay. You are a, let's say, machine tool worker. Okay. Now, are you working properly or not? Are you using the right machine tools or not? The MD knows. How he knows? He knows through various methods. Maybe he'll put CCTV camera, or he'll put some supervisors, or he'll put some recording system, reporting system. Today also, no way? Okay, careful. What time you'll come back?
6:30 or later.
So give me a call. Should I send the driver?
Yeah, they call me.
So evening I'll send off him by 5 o'clock. Keep your phone. Yeah. Sorry. What was I saying?
The factory manager, factory's MD supervises.
The MD knows, even though he's not present in front of you, through various tools, instruments, people, systems, computers, he knows what are you working on. Correct? So similarly, Surya Devata, see, a Jivatma can expand only into 10 personalities, not more than that. But Lord can expand to unlimited personalities. That's the difference between Jivatma and Paramatma. Okay? So a Jivatma like Surya Dev, he is now very powerful now. Why? Because he was empowered by Lord Krishna. He became very powerful. How much he can do? He can control the vision of all the living entities in this world. So he's an enabler. So he uses his Shakti and keeps helping all the living entities to do this vision aspect. Is it now clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, great. So this is where we are now. So up to sloka number 31, you will see that Karna Shrishti is completely explained. I will send you these documents to you. You keep these documents and read the slokas, you will understand what I'm trying to tell you. If you still understand any particular sloka, for whatever reason it may be, please post that in our group. This is not clear, this is not clear, that's not clear. Either I'll call you or I'll try to explain on WhatsApp. Okay? So that way we'll get clarified. And whatever has been mentioned here in prana or mahatattva, unmixed, mixed portion, everything I've explained in detail in the class as well as now. Sounds good?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So now we're going to go into the aspect of mixing these ingredients now. So now we have all of them in separated parts. So that's what I want to show here now. So let's take this document. I want to go back to this document. This is the document. Okay, see here, I want to show this part. Now see this human body. Are you able to see this picture of human body?
Yes, Prabhu.
In this human body, what is a human body? Is a combination of many organs. Correct? When all of these organs are put together, it forms a human body. Now, for example, let's say I take the heart out. That's how the human body is useless. It won't function. You get the point? Right? So now what is happening? In Karana Shrishti, we created, Lord has manifested these. Let me make this big. Make this big. So now you see, the Lord made thymus gland, he made a heart, he made stomach, he made intestine, he made bladder, kidneys, liver, lungs. He made all of them. But just because he made all of them individually, can they function? They cannot function. So they are all going to be put into this body in a certain format, in a certain sequence and structure, and whatever there are certain things that are required. The 5 material elements are required in order for them to work stably, right? And there's also liquids that have been poured so that they are working and transmitting information between them in a stable mode, right? So now, in an individual state of all these respective elements is Karana Srishti. Now, Karya Srishti means what? Put all of them into this body, make a man called a human body, and keep it ready. Now you're getting it?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, that's all simple. So now we will go to sloka, which is going to explain what is Karya Srishti. Okay. So 5.32. Yadayite sangata bhava bhutendriya manogunah yada yatana nirmane nashekur brahma vittama. Now Brahmaji is telling, O Narada, the best of the transcendentalists, Here translated means very highly elevated, realized spiritual soul. The forms of the body cannot take place as long as these created parts, namely the elements, senses, mind, and modes of nature, are not assembled. See, now three gunas have been created, modes of nature. Mind is created, we talked about it. We talked about senses, elements, parts, all are created now. Who created? The Lord. Okay. So he says, when they're not assembled, they can't function. You have a car, but all the car is in a knockdown condition. Tire is separate, steering is separate, engine is separate, carburetor is separate, everything is separate. But will they function? They can't function. Now someone has to assemble it. Okay. So hence he's saying so. Let's read the purport. Someone read the purport for me.
Hare Krishna. Shall I read, Prabhu?
Read.
The different types of bodily constructions. The different types of bodily construction of the living entities are exactly like different types of motor cars manufactured by assembling the allied motor parts. When the car is ready, the driver sits in the car and moves it as he desires. This is also confirmed in the
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita 18.61. The living entity is as if seated on the machine of the body, and the car of the body is moving by the control of the material nature, just as the railway trains are moving under the direction of the controller. The living entities, however, are not the bodies. They are separate from the cars of the body. But the less intelligent material scientist cannot understand the process of assembling the parts of the body, namely the senses, the mind, and the qualities of the material modes. Every living entity is a spiritual spark,
Wow.
spark by part and parcel of the Supreme Being, and by the kindness of the Lord, for the Father is too kind to his sons. The individual living beings are given a little freedom to act according to their will to lord it over the material nature, just as a father gives some playthings to the crying child to satisfy him. The whole material creation is made possible by the will of the Lord to allow the bewildered living entities to lord it over the things as they desire.
This is the enjoyment
Although,
mood. This is a mood of enjoyment that we get. I want to
yes,
control. So
yes,
when that becomes extreme, we start to control people. We start to
okay.
control, a place, an organization, an institution, a country, the world. So we get such mentality. This is because of that. Yeah. Although,
Although under the control of the agent of the Lord, the living entities are exactly like small children playing in the material field under the control of the maidservant of the Lord, that is nature. They accept the Maya or the maidservant as all in all and thus wrongly conceive the supreme truth to be feminine, goddess Durga, etc.
now
The,
what is Goddess Durga is what? Personification. Everything is personification. So the three modes of material nature, when it is personified, that is when you see a rupa of that, that is called Goddess Durga. Okay. So now what happened? They want to lord it over. That means they forgot the Lord. That means I forgot that I'm a servant. I thought I'm a master now. So when I'm thinking I'm a master, immediately Lord goes away. Then the three modes of material nature controls us. And who's that form of the three modes of material nature? Goddess Durga. So she controls us. And we think she is the supreme truth. And her consort, Shiva, as the supreme personality. So this is how people control. Now read. The foolish child.
the foolish child, like materialist, cannot reach beyond the conception of maidservant material nature, but the intelligent grown up sons of the Lord know well that all the acts of material nature are controlled by the Lord. Just as a maidservant is under the control of the master, the father of the undeveloped children. The parts of the body, such as the senses, or the creation of the Mahat Tattva, and when they are assembled by the will of the Lord, the material body comes into existence and the living entity is allowed to use it for further activities. This is explained as follows.
Ah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So is it clear? Whatever we discussed and explained, Prabhupada is very beautifully explained here.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
There is no more explanation required. Like that is explained here. Huh? Okay. So we'll go to the next sloka. There are 3 slokas of very great importance, and I'm going to end with the Bhakti Yoga sloka. What actually happens in our life, right? I will explain that also. So we'll do 33 now. Tata tada samhatya chanayonyam bhagavachakti choditaha sat asatvam upadaya chobayam sasrujur hi adaha. Thus, when all these became assembled by force of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this universe certainly came into being by accepting both primary and secondary causes of creation. Right? So, when completion of Karana Srishti, Karya Srishti, both happened, and when both merged into existence, it caused the current material universe that we are seeing. So, in this universe, it is clearly mentioned that Supreme Personal Godhead exerts his different energies in the creation. It is not that he himself is transformed into material creation. That is the difference, right? So, for example, I, as an actor, okay, I'm standing in the kitchen, I'm taking atta powder, putting water and mixing that, and then making dough, and dough I'm transforming into chapatis, and I'm serving to people. Here, I took the ingredients with my energy and my strength, and I transformed something and gave it to the people to have breakfast. I did not transform into atta myself and gave it to the people. That's what you have to understand. That's what here it means. Lord used his energy, but not himself as transformation. Okay. So he expands himself by his different energies as well as by his plenary portion. How he does that? By the cause of his energy, he does this whole thing. Nothing happens to him. He remains aloof and he controls from the distance. Okay. Is this clear? That's what the sloka is trying to tell. Okay. We'll go to the sloka. So this Karya Srishti is sloka number 32 to 35. So 35 will finish. Then I want to take this Bhakti Yoga sloka and we'll end today's class. Okay. 34. Varshapuga sahasrante tad andam udakeshayam kala karma swabhavasto jivo jivam ajivayat. Very, very important. He says jivo ajivam ajivayat. So how he uses the word animation, how he causes animation. Does anyone know the meaning of the word animate? What does animate means?
Is it simulation, Prabhu?
Is it?
Like simulation?
Simulation. Okay, I'll accept that word. So it means that something dead is now activated. Given energy, given all these things get activated and it performs certain things, right? So for example, a car is fully dead. Why? There's no petrol. So I put petrol and I put some oil and did something and then it started to work, function, like that. That's what's called animate. Now we'll see how the Lord animates this. Okay, translation. Thus all the universe remains thousands of aeons within the water casual ocean, and the Lord of the living beings entering each of them caused them to fully animate, right? So animate here refers to everything was in a dead state, in a standstill state. The Lord, he expanded into personality, and that personality entered into these objects and caused the entire activation, simulation to happen. That's called animation. Okay. So we will see who does that. Okay. So this is a very tricky first part of the explanation. Let's see how you understand this. Can someone read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Shall I read, Prabhu?
Read.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The Lord is described here as the Jiva because he is the leader of all other Jivas, living entities. In the Vedas, he is described as the Nitya, the leader of all other Nityas. The Lord's relation with the living entities is like that of the father with the sons. The sons and the father are qualitatively equal, But the Father is never the Son, nor is the Son ever the Father who begets. So, as described above, the Lord as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu or Hiranyagarbha super soul enters into each and every universe and causes it to be animated by begetting the living entities within the womb of the material nature as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 14.3.
Stop here. Okay. So now you see, the Lord is described as Jiva. So Jiva here refers to not the Jiva Atma. We are actually called Atma, but when we add the word Jiva, so Atma is the soul and Jiva is called as the life. So the soul which possesses a life force is called Jivatma. Okay. So we are Atma, we are not Jiva. Okay. So here when the Lord is said as Jiva, that means he is the life force or the cause for all these things to activate. That's what it means. And who's that person who's doing it? Initially, it was Mahavishnu. When Mahavishnu expanded for the sake of differentiation, this Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the one who's expanding as super soul and entering into each and every element of this creation so that there could be animation. Okay, so that's what is he doing. Okay, is this clear now? When he expands into super soul and then does that animation, we call that as Shirodaksha Vishnu. But who's actually doing this? Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the one who's entering each and every element in this creation. Okay. After each annihilation of the material creation, all the living entities are merged within the body of the Lord, and after creation, they're again impregnated within the material energy. So this is a cycle, right? So cycle is, after I create, I'm giving a chance for practice of devotion. Whoever practiced devotion, they went back. Whoever did not practice devotion, the rest of the living entities are once again brought back into my womb. That's what he's saying. In material existence, therefore, the material energy is seeming the mother of the living entities, the Lord as the father. And hence, you see this Bhudevi as the mother and Lord as the father. And when the father touches the mother, he impregnates her. And we see this material nature is producing all these things. Okay, are you getting clarity?
Yes.
Okay. When, however, animation is what? Activation takes place, the living entities revive their own natural activities under the spell of Kala Karma, right? And thus the varieties of living beings are manifested. So, according to my karma, according to my swabhava, according to the time, I once again got manifested. So I may manifest like out of this 84 lakh species, I can take any of the body and I can manifest. So now you can see the Lord is the cause of all the animation in this world. That's what the sloka is explaining. Okay, so now the question is, how long I will be present in the world in the animated state? How long I'll be present in the garbha, in the uterus of the Lord, in an unanimated state? How long is the question? So that's what the next sloka. So he says, the Lord Mahavishnu, although lying the casual ocean, came out of it, dividing himself as Hiranya Garbha. He entered into each universe and assumed Virata Rupa, with thousands of legs, arms, mouths, etc. Actually, you see here. Sorry. So thus all the universe remained thousands of no. Okay, so now he is entering into. Okay, so how long he will do is very simple. 1,000 celestial years, the living entities will be in a manifested state or animated state and practice activity. They'll do very meaningless activities. And devotion could be one of the activity. And for 1,000 years, they'll be inside the karma. So that is the rule. So that is how life of Brahmaji becomes 1,000 kalpas, and that is one day of Brahmaji. Right? So this is how life of Brahmaji is determined. and the day and night of Brahmaji is determined, and hence the life of Brahmaji is determined. Okay. So now after manifestation happened, the Lord is going to expand into what is called as Virata Rupa. So here Virata Rupa is more an imaginary thing. So this is you to understand the universal form. The universal form has a top portion, middle portion, bottom portion, right? The top portion is called as the Swarga planets in general. The center planets is called as the Bhuloka planet or Martya Loka planets. And the bottom portion is called Patal Loka planets. These are general notations that are given. They represents the center portion refers to the navel of the Lord. And then the upper planets refers to the upper portion of the Lord until the head. And then the Patal Loka refers to the portions of the Lord which is below the navel of the Lord. So we equate this to the form of the Lord because the Virata Rupa explanation tells that this entire creation of this material universe is part of the body of the Lord. Right? So to make us understand, this Virata Rupa form is explained now. So sloka number 35 onwards until sloka number 42 is explanation of Virata Rupa. So what we'll do is we'll do Virata Rupa discussion in the next class. For now, I want to stop here where we've understood Karna Srishti as ingredients and activation of the ingredients as the Karya Srishti. When both are completed, you will see the Visarga and Sarga of the Lord is actually happened. Okay, so are we all clear now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Prabhu, the verse number 33, purport odidiva, Prabhu.
33, ಓದಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಇದು?
First.
Explain, no? I mean, there are other, okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಇದು. Actually, 1000 years ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
1000 years that.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಅದೇ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ನಾನು, ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ 1000 years ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಈ 1000 years ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದೇ ಸ್ಟೇ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಬ್ರೀದಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಹಾವಿಷ್ಣು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಐ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ 1000 years, it's here. Okay. So if you can read the purport number 34, you will get all those details. 33, you will see how long each one is there, how Brahmaji does that. Everything is here. Of course, it's not explained very detailedly. In a short manner, it's explained. Okay. So is this clear? Okay. So we'll just spend the next 5 minutes in understanding what is called as the Bhakti Yoga aspect. Okay. Are you okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu.
So I'll just go to Google Chrome. Yeah. So this is from Chaitanya Bhagavat. I've extracted this. So I want to read the sloka for all of you and let us understand what the Lord is trying to say. So why I'm trying to do this now is when this creation happens, it is Bhakti Yoga that will differentiate us from others and help us to get out of this material section of this creation. Okay. So now let's look at this text. The text verse is called 2.24.72. Okay. Now let's read this sloka. Very brilliant it is. It says, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga Dana, Bhakti E Krishna Nama, Smarana Krandana. Okay, that's what the sloka is. Let me read the sloka. Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. 3 times. Dhana Bhakti E Krishna Nama Smarana Krandana. Okay. So I will read the meaning and the commentary by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Devotion service, devotion service, devotion service is the greatest treasure. That means it is said in Sanskrit that if anything is stressed 3 times, that means it has the highest importance. And one has to get focused on it. Devotion service, devotion service, devotion is the greatest treasure. Devotion service means crying while remembering Krishna's names. This is a direct meaning of it. Now let's see what our Acharya writes. Okay. The first Bhakti Yoga of this phase was written to indicate Sambandha. That means the first Bhakti Yoga is trying to tell us one has to begin understanding his relationship with the Lord. Okay, Lord, they say they have created here. Lord is the one who's created this place. Okay, Lord has created this place means I am also part of this place. So Lord should have created me also. If Lord has created me, for example, my father and mother gave a child and that's me, I have a relationship, I call them my father and mother. So with my Lord, who's the cause of my creation or existence in this world, what is my relation with him? Should I understand it or not? That is samatha. Okay, second. The second bhakti was written to indicate abhideya. If I have a relationship with the Lord, then what activities I'm supposed to perform? For example, I and my father have a relation, father-son relation. So it's just a relation? It's a dead relation? No, there's some activity. He does many things for my welfare. And I do many things to please him. I take care of him. I do things that can, help him to accomplish certain set of goals in life. And he also does many things to secure the future of my life. So there is an activity in our relationship. That is abhideya. A relationship without activity is no meaningless. That is called a santaras. So an activity in relationship is all other rasas. Okay. Third bhakti was written to indicate prayojana. That means goal of life. Okay, we do many activities, but every activity should have the goal of life. If there is no goal in that activity is meaningless. So that's what is indicated in prayojana. So what does prayojana indicate here? Devotional service manifests in a heart that has melted by hearing, chanting, and remembering. Okay? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam is a result of practice of devotion. Our heart is very hard-hearted. Okay? When that heart starts to melt, what is melt here? Melt means not physically melt. Melt here means yields. Yes, I'm supposed to yield. When it becomes softer, the consciousness of the person becomes softer. The person becomes humbler. He becomes softer in nature to deal with. That is what is called melted. Melted by how? By hearing, chanting, and remembering. If one heart is hardened by false arguments or filled with desire to control, then the propensity for service does not appear. So, if we get into arguments for any of these things, that is, I am right, I am wrong. You are right, you are wrong. Filled with desire to control, I want to control this. Whatever I say is my way. If you are into this level, that means it indicates that the heart is getting hardened. It is not melting. On one side, we are hearing, we are doing chanting, kirtanam, shravanam, smaranam. On the other side, we are doing what is called as control. And what we're doing is unwanted fault finding, offenses, arguments, we're doing other side. Our practice of devotion will soften the heart, but activities of this will harden the heart. This is the problem. So hence he says, non-devotional activities manifest perversions in the soul's constitutional characteristics. That means what? The constitutional characteristics of the soul is pure. It is Sat, Chit, Ananda. And it is Abhyasat. What is Abhyasat? Abhyasat means to do something again, repeatedly. That is the constitutional characteristics of the soul. But what is happening? Because of our non-devotional activities, which are non-devotional activities? False arguments, desire to control, or a propensity not to do any services. These are non-devotional activities. They manifest stronger and they cover the soul like this. So, the original characters of the soul are not manifested. these characteristics which are materialistic in nature, influenced by three modes of material nature, they manifest. And hence you see, we are so-called devotees, but our behavior is very bad. Are you able to understand this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. That's what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. So what does that mean? We do service. We do many things. We also have consciousness. Consciousness reveals what we are, right? Krishna is asking for our consciousness. He's not asking for our service. Then you may ask, then why are we doing service? We are doing service to mend our consciousness. But if your service is going to pollute the consciousness, then your service is not making you progress in devotion service. So you should know, why are you performing a service? Service should enhance your consciousness towards bhakti for the Lord. If the service increases your ahankar, if the service increases your control nature, if your services increases that I am the knower of everything, I am supreme, I am better than others, paradoxes, then the service is actually causing a problem for us. So what does Krishna want? Krishna doesn't want your service because there are millions and millions of people ready to serve Krishna. And his energies are serving Krishna like anything. He is Atma Raman. He is Swarat. He doesn't need any of our service. Then what does Krishna want? Krishna wants our consciousness. Manmana bhavamat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. If manmana is not present, then none of the other valid statements are present. Manmana madbhat bhagato madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mamevaishashi yuktvaibam atmanamat parayan. That means if we don't surrender our consciousness to Krishna, we are not actually practicing bhakti. So don't think, oh, I'm doing this service, that service, this. That is not the key. What is your state of consciousness is the key. We may impersonate ourselves by colorful presentation of us to others, but no, Lord is sitting as Paramatma. He knows our consciousness. So this is the key. Is this clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
So the Lord wants our consciousness. What is there in your consciousness is key. And your consciousness must be enhanced by services to increase the Bhakti Yoga. All three types of Bhakti Yoga. The first Bhakti Yoga, which increases Sambandha. The second Bhakti Yoga, which increases your Abhideya. The third Bhakti Yoga, which increases your Prayojana. If these three elements of Bhakti Yoga are not done, then we are not practicing Bhakti. We are not enhancing the consciousness. That means, if Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru does not happen, even though we are in ISKCON, we are doing this, we are doing that, that means we've just wasted our time given the opportunity. So please be very much aware of what we are doing. Do not challenge. Do not question. It's none of our business. What has happened in our life is the plan of the Lord. Okay. I would like to end my class here today. And any commentary, we can take it. Any questions, we can take it.
Prabhu, this sloka, Bhakti Yoga, Dana na Prabhu? Dana, like wealth.
Yoga Dana.
Bhakti
Ye Krishna Nama Smarana Krandana.
Krandana is like crying, Prabhu.
Yeah, crying. Krandana means rather than crying, it says melting my hearts so that I can remember Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It is a combined sentence, Prabhu. Smarana Krandana. Akrandana, Smarana, Smarana Akrandana.
Correct. Correct.
Akrandana means crying.
Correct. Correct.
Krandana in itself is not crying. Akrandana is crying.
Yeah,
So
but
it is
when it is
Smarana
Krandana, it refers to
Yes, Prabhu. Remembering the God's name. In that you
context.
are
In that
yes.
context. Correct.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Is the class getting too deeper and stronger, or is it getting difficult? Are you all okay?
It is becoming deeper and stronger, not
Deeper and
difficult.
stronger, Prabhu. Not difficult to
We
understand.
have to put in our efforts once again to.
We are enjoying the
Read the
nectar.
purpose.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I understand this last one, this Bhakti Yoga, this summary, that you are first establishing the relationship with God, and then through your activities, you are reaching the goal, that is prayojana of life. This is what the ultimate, in nutshell, the consciousness of Krishna consciousness.
Correct.
Hare Krishna.
So while you're achieving your goal, you should protect yourself from fall down.
Correct, Prabhu.
That means what is the fall down here refers to? Going to negative direction.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the key.
So, Prabhu, that's why they say Bhakti Yoga is more
Complex.
okay. It connects to the yourself with the God
Yes.
rather than any other path.
Yeah. For example, you do a yajna. In yajna, you see you're very much focused on the performance of the activities and all other things. You're really not focused, your consciousness is not really focused on love of Godhead. Okay. You don't understand these things. So that's why you see, yajna may look grandeur from an external point of view, but from an internal point of view, it is not. Okay. People who don't understand this, that means they're influenced by the external grandeur of something, but not the internal aspect. What did Arjuna say? Oh, Krishna, the most difficult aspect in the entire life, I have seen this entire life. I can shake this entire world. I can control the wind. I can control this. I can control that. I can control water. I can kill 1 crore people with one weapon of mine. Everything's possible. But one thing is not possible. That means the greatest is possible in this world. But one thing is not possible or close to impossible, he said, was controlling the mind. So what did Krishna say? Krishna says, yes, it is the most difficult. Mind is the strongest element in our body. But Krishna says 2 things. First, by practice, you can control your mind. Second, by my causeless mercy, you can control your mind. So when these 2 are combined together, then the sloka manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru happens. That means I'm able to offer my consciousness and my mind onto you, Krishna. So hence it becomes the most challenging things. So it needs practice, 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 practice.
One more question, Prabhu. When when we die, is it the Atma that goes away or Jivatma? That part alone here.
Jiva means the Atma which possesses a life. That's what called Jivatma. So Atma is the soul. Okay.
Atma. Okay.
Atma is the soul. So Atma has 2 covering layers. The first layer is called the subtle body. The second layer is called the gross body. The gross body is 5 elements: earth, water, ether, fire, air. That you live in this world. People cremate. They take that to the mashana, they burn the body and gone. So that means the gross body is gone like that. But the subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego. False ego is your ahankar, your identity. Intelligence is your buddhi. Mind is the warehouse of all the desires that you have accumulated through impressions or exposure to this material world. So this is present with the soul now. Now the question is whether the subtle body is purified or not purified. So a person who's materialistic in nature, who's living this material world, always doing all material activities, is an impurified state. That means he will continue to live in this material world. A person who is in the purified state is ahankar, intelligence, mind, is purified, and hence he will be awarded the not an impurified metal body which is full of ignorance. He'll be awarded a spiritual body which is full of bliss and knowledge. That's the whole aspect. So there will be subtle body which carries along with the soul to the next life. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. One more question, last question. When we say about the avatars, that is the Lord himself is getting manifested in different forms, right? It's not his Shakti or Rupa.
No, that both are there. Sometimes Lord himself expands. Sometimes Lord uses as energy to expand. For example, Buddha. Buddha is a spark of energy of the Lord who came and did activities, right? So they are called Shakti Aveshwara Avatar. That means Shakti of the Lord is manifested into that person, and he took avatar.
It applies to same like Narsimha avatar.
No, Narsimha is Vishnu Tattva. That means he manifests himself.
So
That's
so the 10 form of avatara is like the Lord himself manifested into different forms.
there are certain combinations. So it's sometimes he does Vishnu himself as plenary portion or portion of the plenary portion, like that. He does many things he does. So it's a combination of all, but in general, you can say they're all avatars of the Lord. But when you go into the detailing, then you will see differentiation between them.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. There's someone who's put their hand. So we will meet again next Saturday, and we will see how much we learn. Okay. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Please read the purports. And the next class will be finishing a Virat Rupa section, which is a smaller section, and we will go into Purusha Sutta. So Purusha Sutta prayers, right? We'll go into that, and we'll go see how the Iha Devatas, the living entities, Brahmaji is all able to make requests and petitions to the Lord, and how Lord reciprocates. That's Purusha Sutta. So we'll read that in the next class. Yeah.
Prabhu, today fasting till 12 o'clock, Prabhu.
Yeah, today is Disciplines Day of Srila Prabhupada. So by fasting, we show our respects and love for Srila Prabhupada. So fast till 12 o'clock. After 12 o'clock, it's grain prasadam. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम तत्सत।
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhu. Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Dandot Pranam, Prabhu.
Krishna Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavad
Hare Krishna,
Pranam.
Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu, so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Understand. Okay, I'll end the class here.